the first day of my second half of law school, and I'm already behind. Today is January 19th, 2021, and I'm officially starting my fourth semester, which is the second half of my law school journey. It's pretty crazy. We're halfway there, but it feels so much farther away than that. As I try to do every semester, I will be taking you through my first week back, bringing you along to my classes, errands, talking you through what's going on, and what you might be able to expect to hear about for the next couple months on my channel. Today's actually Tuesday because Monday was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and so we didn't have any class. I thought about filming, but literally all I did was sit on my couch and finish up finally the research assistant project that I was working on last semester and over winter break. So it would have been a pretty boring day for you to watch. Today is a little bit more interesting. Not only do I have 2 classes to go to, but also a couple meetings. I'm getting COVID tested. Seems like a prudent thing to do after traveling a lot. And I also have book club tonight. It should be a good week, and I'm excited to tell you about all of my new classes and what I've got going on this semester because it's a lot, but it's a lot of really fun stuff for the most part. So I'm personally most excited for this semester out of all of the ones that have come before because I feel like it's going to be the most tailored to what I'm already interested in. My first class, Conflict of Laws, is about to start. So once it's over, I will tell you all about it as we run to our errands. Let's skip ahead to that right now.
Oh, that is very dark. Okay. So I am on WashU's campus right now, walking to pick up a library book. I'm going to be reading with my book club from Wheaton starting today. I have not done my reading yet, so I need to do that. But I just finished getting testing. You can see the testing center right there on campus. It's funny, I've only been tested twice, both not thankfully because I had symptoms, just as a preventative thing. And you guys have seen both times. It's also really weird filming with this mask on. I feel like you can't tell that I'm talking, and hopefully you can hear that I'm talking. I guess we'll find out when I'm editing this video. But so it's been a while since you've seen campus. It's been a while since I've been to campus. Actually, that's not true. I was just here like 2 days ago for the first time in, oh man, 6 months maybe, because I was filming a video for my school. You guys, please watch next week's video. I'm so excited about it. It was a really big accomplishment for me and my channel, and it involved me walking on campus and kind of giving a tour. So if you are interested at all in WashU or law school in general and want to know what one actually looks like, definitely next week's video is going to be for you. But I'm going to go grab my book and then head home because I have a meeting about the public interest funding for next summer. And that's like in 20 minutes, so I'm gonna hurry up, pick up my book, go home, and set up that meeting, and I will catch up with you guys back at the apartment. Oh my gosh, I'm like so out of breath. I meant to film more on my way home, but just want to say that What's Your Country Song by Thomas Rhett is a freaking jam. Okay, that's it. Oh my gosh, you guys, so I was just making my lunch, just a little pasta and artichoke, no big deal. And look what I did. I was trying to turn on the burner for my water for the pasta, and I turned it on the other burner where my pan was sitting, almost started a fire. Ah.
So putting that aside, I just went to the meeting about the public interest funding, and thankfully it wasn't any crazy new information I didn't know before. I have about 3 hours now before my next class, which is the criminal justice seminar, and I have quite a bit of reading to do for that still, which I'm going to do now. But first I wanted to back up and actually sit down and tell you guys about what was going on this weekend, why I'm already behind in my first week of law school, and what my class this morning was like. So This weekend, I flew back to St. Louis on Saturday, and then I spent all of Saturday doing laundry, getting groceries, unpacking, getting clean from the airplane, that kind of thing. Sunday, I filmed that video for my school that I was mentioning earlier, as well as had Bible study with my parents and did a little bit of work on the research assistant project. Yesterday was pretty much entirely that, as well as doing the homework for my class this morning, conflict of laws, which is, to my very basic understanding, when you have a case which multiple jurisdictions or multiple laws that have a conflict with one another could govern, and the case might come out differently depending on which one you use. So for example, one of the cases that we read today was about a plaintiff who worked for a railroad that was incorporated in Alabama, and he had a contract with them in Alabama. He lived in Alabama. The train left from Alabama, but he got injured on the train in Mississippi. So the question was, should the Alabama law regarding employer liability apply, or should Mississippi law, where there's no employer liability, apply? If you're curious, ultimately under a traditional theory of conflict of laws called vested rights, it's about the place where the injury occurred. So in that case, Mississippi law would govern. It basically just feels like Civil Procedure Part 2, but I definitely could use a refresh in that, and so far the professor seems pretty nice, so yeah, it's probably going to be the class that's most like what I've done before and up to this point. One of my friends is in the class with me, so hopefully I'll be able to partner with her for studying purposes. My camera has this like little tracking box around my face, and it keeps moving, and it's super distracting. Other classes that I am taking this semester include the Criminal Justice Seminar, which again is the class I'm going to have in a couple hours here. That, again, to my very basic understanding, is more about participation and writing papers than focusing everything around an exam that you take at the end of the semester. Seminars are also smaller classes, and criminal justice is obviously a really important topic to me and a really hot button issue, so I'm looking forward to really interesting and engaging conversations with people with vastly different perspectives, ideally. The last class, I would say physical class, but I'm not physically going to any of these, is criminal procedure adjudication. So last semester, some of you might remember that I took criminal procedure investigation, which was about police officers, kind of everything regarding arrests and searches and stuff like that. Adjudication is more what I will be doing as a prosecutor. They call it bail to jail. Indictment, arraignment, discovery, trial, appeals, sentencing, all that kind of stuff. I'm really excited for this class. I don't think it will be that hard. Hopefully, but it seems like the professor has a lot of expectations of the amount of reading he wants us to do each week, which I find interesting since it's only a 2-credit class as opposed to the normal 3 credits. Regardless, I'm looking forward to that, especially in conjunction with being in the prosecution clinic this semester, which I'll be working in approximately 22 to 23 hours a week. I'm mostly going to do that Thursdays and Fridays. I have 2 classes on Mondays and Tuesdays and just 1 afternoon class on Wednesday. So mostly going to get those hours in at the end of the week. We'll see how that all shakes out. There's supposed to be an orientation for the clinic today, but it was scheduled during my seminar class, so I can't go. When I find out that information, I will be happy to share it in a later video when I know more of what I'm talking about. For those of you doing the math, that's 15 credits so far, and I'm doing a 16-credit semester, so that last credit is coming from Moot Court, which if you watched my video last week, you know that I recently finished the big Moot Court brief that we had to do over winter break. It was super time consuming. I'm so glad it's over. But now we're on to oral argument practices, which I'm doing every day or every other day until mid-February. Again, something I am happy to talk more about in a later video that's more focused on that. During this week, I'll definitely be attending those practices, so I'll tell you about those as they come up. I actually did have like 2 practices over the weekend as well. So that might be it. I've already started filling in my schedule. It's already looking very full. Yeah, I have like a long to-do list of things this week. I need to follow up on job stuff. I didn't do much of that over winter break because I was doing the Moot Court stuff, so that's something I definitely need to start doing This week, I'm waiting on my official transcript to come in with all of my new grades. If you're wondering, they were good. I'm happy with them. They're a little bit better than what I did last year, which was pretty much my goal. But I want to be able to send that updated transcript along with an updated resume and cover letter to all of those places that I applied back in August. Some of them I've heard from since then with either preliminary conversations, notice of receipt of the application, or even an interview, but that has been few and far between. So I just want to reiterate my interest to all of those employers. Well, let me rephrase that. I'd rather I didn't have to reiterate my interest, but I do want a job, and a lot of these places are places I would genuinely be interested in working, not only short-term, but long-term as well. So in order to demonstrate that, I need to reiterate my interest, which hopefully I'll be able to do all of that later this week, since after tomorrow I won't have any more classes. Well, actually, that's not really true either. I technically have a meeting for my clinic on a weekly basis. The clinic is entirely just based on your work at the clinic, or for me at the prosecutor's office. So there's no exam or paper to my knowledge. I guess I'll find out. But we still have class because, we should be learning stuff, and that's a more focused way to do that. I think that any good internship or practical experience should have some kind of focused meeting, at least on a weekly basis, to talk to the interns and the students about what they should be trying to get out of the experience. I feel like I've said that word like 4 times in one sentence. Anyway, looking forward to that. That's on Thursday nights, and normally, I don't know, if I'm physically at the office downtown in the courthouse, I probably will just watch the class, or I guess go to class online, whatever, from there, since it's at 4 and I expect I'd be there at least until 4, but we have yet to figure out any of the hours. I expect it will probably change on a month-to-month, if not week-to-week basis, as far as how much we can go in person, if the courts are open, what that whole balance looks like. Personally, I'm hoping for as much in person as possible, not because I'm not taking COVID seriously. Ask anyone in my family, I very much am, but because I just don't work well from home. And the clinic is something I've really been looking forward to, really been counting on as a time for me to grow and show that I have what it takes for this job, and doing that from home probably isn't going to fulfill those goals I have for myself. So I'm really hoping there's a way that we can do that safely in person to some extent at the actual courthouse. Selfishly, I also want to be able to, speak in court and not just talk to a Zoom room. But I trust that it'll all work out like it's supposed to. So with that, I'm going to stop boring you, start boring myself. I kid, I think it's actually probably going to be a pretty interesting book that we're talking about today, but I do need to get on reading it because I think we have like 60 pages to do, something like that. Yeah, 60 pages of reading, maybe. I don't know, a lot of reading. Sorry for this weird angle. I'm just really comfortable and don't feel like moving. I just had book club with my friends from Wheaton, and one of them wanted to say hi. Wait, I don't have it pointed at you yet.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I gotta get some better lighting.
Go ahead. You can say hi now.
Oh, bye, YouTube video.
We are reading a book right now that I would probably never read on my own time, which is something I really appreciate about book club. It gives me some diverse perspectives, even if I disagree with them, and just like an ability to think about concepts that are pretty foreign to my own circle of experience. Speaking of which, let me also tell you about my criminal justice seminar. We spent most of today talking about kind of what has led to mass incarceration, what we really should be doing about it, different social theories about why it exists, and we really just scratched the surface because obviously these are huge, very deep and complicated topics that we could never just fully cover in like 2 hours. But it was an interesting conversation. I'm interested to see how the rest of the semester goes because the professor said that he was talking more himself in this session than he expects to do in the future. I ordered some new baking pans from Target. I feel like I'm forgetting something that I was going to tell you about. But I don't remember what it is. I'm taking the rest of the evening off just to relax and slow down because this week I'm not going into work for the clinic. That's going to start next week, which means that I have all of tomorrow morning to do my homework for my Wednesday class. My tripod is very precariously perched on top of my table right now to get this kind of angle instead of, sitting on the couch again today. I wish I had more rooms in this apartment just for the sake of my YouTube channel. So it is about 1 o'clock. I use the morning to eat, shower, make some phone calls, start dinner. Right now, I'm about to do my homework for my class, which is at 2:30 on a criminal procedure adjudication. I think we're just reading one case and then a couple supplementary articles, I guess. It shouldn't take too long, and then I will head to class right after. In between that and moot court, I need to prepare for my moot court argument that I'm giving in practice today. I'll be working off brief, which means that the 3 weeks I spent working on a brief with my teammate for one side, I'm doing the other side today. So I was arguing for a respondent, which is the much easier side to argue in this particular case. And today I need to make my argument for petitioner because my team is still deciding who is going to give which arguments when we're actually in competition in February. So I need to prepare for that. I also have 2 potential meetings that are happening today in that in-between time of 3:30 to 6 o'clock, so waiting on them to get back to me. One would be with a professor from my school who is supervising the Wiley Rutledge moot court competition, which instead of being national is just our school specific. So students in our school can sign up to get a credit to compete against one another. I do not have time to do 2 moot court competitions at once, but they are looking for students to be on the board and kind of run the logistics of that. And I thought that would be a good experience and a way to still be involved at the school level of this competition that I'm doing this year. So meeting with him potentially today. I'm also trying to meet with the clinic supervisors. I'm having a really hard time communicating with them over email, so I'm hoping to connect with them on the phone or on Zoom or something and ask questions about what specifically I need to do to get ready to start at the courthouse next week. So hopefully those meetings will happen and will go well. So I will check in with you right around that time after my class and before moot court to kind of tell you what's going on and to tell you about this class because I haven't had it yet this week. Normally we would have it on Mondays and Wednesdays, but since Monday was a holiday, today is the first time that I'm attending. So yes, it's going to be a busy day here in the apartment. I will not be going anywhere today, but tomorrow, man, a lot of things to do. But I will save all of that for my vlogging in tomorrow's video. So I will see you guys in a couple hours. It was very good. Okay, so the last time you saw me was actually 7 hours ago versus what I thought would be 3 hours ago, so sorry about that, but lots to catch you up on from today. All of my Zoom meetings today, I was very fidgety and ADD. I just wanted to do anything else. The criminal procedure class was great. I actually kind of felt like I was in a high school. I had a very young, energetic professor who just spent the first day talking about the syllabus and his personal interests in life. He was so fun. I am very excited to take classes with him, but also because I actually had 3 friends in that class, which I know I said yesterday, that was yesterday, right? I know I said yesterday I had a friend in one of my other classes, but she's dropping the class. She is leaving me. So now out of my 3 classes, only one of them has anybody that I actually know in it, which is disappointing. But this one is gonna be super fun. I'm actually kind of sad that it's only 2 credits because that means that it's less than an hour long. I think it's 54 minutes or something twice a week, as opposed to an hour and 20 minutes twice a week. But I'm really looking forward to the discussions in that class, especially because it seems like the professor's personal interests really align with my own as far as adjudication goes. Not only discussing what trial procedure actually looks like on a practical level of first appearances to plea bargaining, to discovery, to trial, to sentencing. I probably already got that order wrong, but he actually specifically said that he wants to talk about progressive prosecution, which you guys know I'm really interested in, and what a fair trial looks like in a pandemic, because so many jury trials have been put on hold indefinitely. What does that mean for a defendant's right to a speedy trial, or the right not to be held without probable cause? What about the confrontation clause? If we're having virtual trial or even in person with people covering their faces in masks, does that affect a defendant's right to effectively voir dire a jury during jury selection, or to confront the people who are accusing him of a crime? I don't know. I guess I'll find out. I'm not excited because of the issues themselves. Obviously, a pandemic is horrible. The fact that people are going to jail just generally is horrible. The fact that somebody could go to jail with their rights potentially being violated or at the very least stretched to their limits is horrible. But it's an exciting thing to think about because it's a new issue, and so much in the law is talking about stuff that is so old and very abstract and boring, and this is a practical reality that is likely going to affect my day-to-day life as a lawyer for the near future. It also might, and in fact probably has, provoked conversations about what prosecution and the criminal justice system will look like going forward, which is always a conversation I'm looking forward to having. I really think this class is going to be great. After I finished class, I actually did end up having those 2 meetings pretty much back to back. The first one did end up being an interview to be on the board of the Moot court competition for the school. I didn't know that besides my professor, the current chair of the board, as well as the other supervisor who happens to run the national moot court team that I'm on, would also be in that meeting, but they were, and I thought it went fine. It's not the end of the world if I don't get it, but I do think that I would be good at it, and it'd be another fun thing to add to my resume. Yeah, I hope it works out, but if it doesn't, no biggie. The second meeting ended up being a lot longer than I thought it would be. It was actually with one of the clinic supervisors for the prosecution clinic that I'm doing. I mentioned I wasn't able to go to orientation yesterday because they had scheduled it during one of my other classes. And communicating over email just isn't all that effective for the amount of information that I needed to get from her. So she very kindly gave me a quicker version of the orientation presentation and answered all of my questions, except for one because her computer died. But I will ask her tomorrow at our actual weekly meeting with the other students. And that's actually going to be the most relevant question for you guys, which is how much of what I'm doing in my internship can I share? I already know that I can't talk about specific case details. Like, that's obvious. I would never do that on this channel. And if I thought that I was going to or be tempted to violate any of that confidentiality stuff, I would not have a YouTube channel. Because ultimately, as much as I love you all, my career as a lawyer is a little bit more important. So I'm never going to let this channel actually jeopardize that. But I do want to be able to give you information as far as what you could expect from getting a practical experience like this. So I'm double checking tomorrow what are the limits of what I can share, not only to my family and friends, but potentially online as well. After that, I ate dinner very quickly. My soup was great. And I rushed to try to put together this moot court argument because again, I was arguing off brief. I was trying a new theory that we had kind of talked about before, but I hadn't fully defended, and I went into practice just not feeling that prepared, not because I hadn't put any work or thought into it, but just because it's not an incredibly defensible argument. I don't know that there is one for this particular side, so whenever I'm assigned to it, I just try different things and see which works best. It's kind of like pick your poison, so I don't think that what we did today is going to be the poison I pick because I felt like it was the absolute worst I've ever done in a practice. I mean, I've only been there for a week, but the other ones I just felt a lot more confident about my performance and especially my theory. I felt like my answers were more well-developed and consistent with one another versus today thinking about my answers. They weren't that sensical. They weren't incredibly directly responsive to the judge's questions, and I didn't feel great about it. And the comments that I got from the coaches and the guest judge when we were done, I thought were a lot more nice to me than I would have been because I felt like I was just wandering through a car crash. It's only like 8:30, but I'm pretty glad that the day is mostly over by now. I'm going to, per usual, binge out on the couch as I catch up on the new episodes of Prodigal Son, a show I have talked about before on this channel. And tomorrow we are going to the courthouse. I will not obviously be filming anything inside, but I'll try to get some shots of the exterior for you and tell you about what I think, because I need to go in to fill out some paperwork for the clinic. Yeah, we're running a lot of errands tomorrow. We're gonna be in the car a lot. If I can figure out a way to film in there safely and where my phone doesn't make that rattling noise that it made before, I will do so.
Sorry for the weird lighting. The sun is right in my eyeballs. I just finished up with the circuit attorney's office, getting my paperwork for my identification badge done, setting up my email, seeing where I'm supposed to go when I come to work next week. Everyone was really nice, but I was here a lot longer than I expected, so I need to rush over and do some errands. We're going to drop off a quick gift to my friend who helped me keep my car alive while I was gone over winter break. We also need to pick up a couple things over in the shopping district, and need to take some things to get mailed. I need to eat. I'm so hungry. I like ran out of the door without eating anything this morning, and it's already noon. I've been awake for a long time. It feels like I'm gonna stop talking now and just drive home. Still facing in the worst direction ever to film, but and trapped by a van. That's fun. Just dropped off the present. Now to go drop off some returns. I got this really cute suit jacket from Ann Taylor. It's like red. Probably can't wear it in court. It's still nice like for the office and stuff. But it's a little too big, so I'm exchanging it for a smaller size. I'm gonna get gas because it's like 55 degrees outside and not freezing. I really wanted to go to the botanical gardens today because it's so nice, and I thought I was going to be able to do it, but my clinic meeting, which we meet once a week as a class, is at 4:15, which is in like 3 hours, and I haven't done the reading for it yet, which I know is going to be a lot. So I mean, I could go, but it would be a pretty irresponsible decision. So I'm gonna go back home after I run my errands and do my reading, go to the class, and then I think I need to do like job stuff this evening. I don't know. I'm sure I'll check in with you again later, but for now, let's go on a little drive.
Dropped off all my stuff at UPS, got some gas, made it back, and if you're wondering why I was at DSW, we're picking up this backpack that I will unwrap. I spent like a crap ton of money at DSW last year. I think I talked about that before, because I needed to just replace all of my shoes. And so ever since I did that, I've been like a gold member or whatever that means. And so I got a free gift last year, and I'm getting a free gift this year. Last year I got a duffel bag. I think you also can get like $10 or $15 off of shoes, but like I'm set on shoes. So yeah, last year I got a duffel bag, and this year was a backpack. That's pretty nice. There's like a little pouch in the front and big pocket back here. Oh, you guys, a little laptop sleeve. Look at that. I don't know if you can see in there. It's kind of dark. Cute. This part of my order from Target also came. I needed to get like a bunch of soap, basically. I got like dish soap and hand soap and body wash, all the soaps. It's not because I'm like a hoarder or anything either. Like I legitimately just ran out. Oh yeah, I forgot I got 2 paper towels. That's good. I was on my last roll. That's not soap. That's granola. Are any of you guys like granola people? I never used to be, and then in college I had what's called bare naked granola, and it's just peanut butter flavored, and it was so good. It wasn't like too sweet or anything, but now I can't find it anywhere. Like I can find the brand and they still make granola, but it's not the peanut butter one. So I don't know what happened to that. Sometimes I have Kind granola, but that one's really sugary, so I try to like find new ones. This one is purely Elizabeth. I haven't had it before, but it has chocolate in it, so you know, probably will be great. All right, looks like some of my soap came. You know, I've tried twice this year to buy hand soap, and I failed both times. The first time I accidentally bought lotion, and then the second time I accidentally bought lotion. Then we got some Woolite laundry detergent. My parents got me one of those like silk pillowcases for Christmas. And apparently you need special laundry detergent for that. So there's an aspect of adulting I had never figured out before. So, it's Friday. Turns out I totally forgot to film last night, but you know, it happens. The clinic meeting was pretty good. Got some basics down and asked my questions about dress code and confidentiality. Got some other questions answered as well. The quick version of how that all turned out is I can talk to you guys at a very high level about what I'm doing. Like, oh, I did a preliminary hearing today, or I'm working to research this general topic. But I can't give you any like case details or anything. Stuff that's publicly available, technically I'm allowed to talk about, but I'm just not even gonna get into that because I definitely don't want to put my career or people's lives and safety and rights at risk by putting something on YouTube that doesn't belong here. So I will definitely have a dedicated video as far as my clinic and internship experiences go down the line, but just so you have a preview of what to expect, that's what that's going to look like. I'm also not really doing anything today that's interesting to watch anyway. I have a moot court meeting, which I will be arguing on the other side for today. I'm going to be updating my job applications that I applied for back in August with my newer cover letter, resume, transcript, etc. And is there anything else? Send a couple emails, probably watch a lot of TV. This is my last Friday for the rest of the semester where I'm not going to be incredibly busy with the clinic or a competition or driving somewhere. So I'm basically just going to lay low and hang out. I was thinking I might go on a walk later since it's still pretty nice outside, but I'm not sure that I actually want to officially get dressed today yet, hence the bathrobe. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, so I think this is going to wrap up this week's vlog, but thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please like this video if you want to see more vlogs and weeks in my life like this. I'm still intending to do a weekend in my life in the coming months, so keep a lookout for that. Subscribe if you haven't already. And last thing, just want to plug my Instagram if you've watched this far and still somehow don't follow me there. It's just LAA Law Student. I'm going to be doing a Q&A on this channel next month, and I will be asking for questions there. But if you don't have an Instagram or forget, you can always just ask me questions in the comments below, and I might pick some of them for that video. I will see you guys next week for an official tour video of my law school. Until then, God bless.